Howdy everyone. Alright, so I've decided to redo my Pitot attachment here. So again, I've got a heated Pitot blade and I elected to attach it to one of the access covers to my wing. And like I've showed before in the other video, I got some reinforcement plates and different things back here to actually mount the blade. But I've decided to redo the tubing for the pitot and static lines because the way that I had it before, the lines came up through here. The hard lines came up and passed through this rib, and then on the other side of the rib I had unions that these plastic lines would plug into. The issue with that is, if you can imagine the skin on this airplane, when the bottom skin riveted on, there would be no good way to get into this compartment here to get to those union fittings to do any kind of maintenance. So what I elected to do was start over, and now I have the hard line. I've got the hard line plumbed here, and then the lines bend around and they attach to the plate here. They attach to the plate here, and then the fittings are on the end of the tubes, and then of course that transitions to the plastic tubing. So in effect what happens now is I've got everything contained within the confines of this plate. So now if you can imagine the wing skin being on this entire assembly, this plate can drop down and everything that's attached to it will come with it. So I've already tried it. This access cover, it can basically when it's detached from the wing, it can kind of swing down like this with these flex lines. It will just kind of come down this way, and then that gives me space if I need to come in and disconnect these fittings here, or I can reach in and disconnect these fittings here, and then this mount here, which holds the two hard lines, that can also ultimately be unscrewed here. So that's the new gig for now. So I've rebuilt this basically so the whole thing will be contained within the confines of this access cover, and I can now just pull the access cover loose, allowing it to hinge on these tubes here and swing it out of the way so I can get to the different fittings. And then of course at that point I can unbolt the pitot blade itself from the cover. So everything is able to be disassembled. And of course these two pitot lines here, they clear this bell crank. If this were to swing all the way over in this direction, there's no interference, although I don't think it'd ever come that far. But this can swing all the way over here and there's no interference. So I believe this is good now. This hard line, well, this is a hard plastic. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's very, very hard and stiff. If you bend it too much, it kinks. So this is pretty rigid stuff. I've got rubber grommets in each rib. These grommets, the inside hole, I think was 1/4 inch. It may have been slightly bigger than 1/4 inch, but to fit these two 3/16 inch tubes through that hole made it a really tight fit. I really stretched that hole quite a bit to get these in there. But since the tubes themselves are so rigid, they don't collapse. They just stretch the rubber grommet. So these are held very securely in each rib, as you can see. And ultimately, before I wrap up everything, I'm going to put a little bit of lacing cord on these in the middle of each bay, just to stiffen it up a little bit. So between each rib, somewhere in the middle, I'm going to put some lacing thread, lacing cord, just to hold that together. So that's it for the pitot.